So hey guys, this is Anand Parik here, and this is the machine learning playlist, and this is the first video of the machine learning playlist. So today we are going to cover some basic fundamentals and very important topics of machine learning. So first is machine learning. What is machine learning? First of all, and then we are going to cover that how can we classify machine learning, right? So in how many ways a machine can learn. So these are the four ways in which a machine can learn, and at last we are going to study what is deep learning. So let's first start with machine learning. So things start from 1958. Arthur Samuel, an American pioneer of computer science, um, he was one of the first to work very seriously on AI. So he coined the term machine learning. So he said that it is a field of study where we give computers an ability to learn from experience without being explicitly programmed. So it is a field where we give computer the ability to learn without just without just explicitly writing the code for it. So here the it will not follow. Rather than following instructions, it will be learning from experience. So this is machine learning. So these are some ways in which a machine can learn. So just to clear that the core classification of machine learning are only these two, supervised and unsupervised learning, while others, these two are just derived from supervised and unsupervised learning. So yeah, but just for the clarification and clarity, these are taken as different classification. Okay, so first is what is supervised learning. So in every classification, two things that we two things are used to classify among them. So first is data, and the second is the goal. What type of data you are giving to the model, and second is what type of output the machine or model will give to you. So in supervised learning, we give uh, data which is labeled data. So what does that mean? What is labeled data? A data which contains input as well as correct output, that is labeled data, right? So in supervised learning, we give labeled data, which means a data which contains input as well as the correct output. So the problem that we solve with supervised learning can be classified in two ways. First is regression. Sorry for my writing. First is regression, and second is classification. So regression is the type of problem in which the output that we are getting is a continuous value. So what does that mean by continuous value? Is that uh, uh, house prices computer model um, which can predict the price of the house. So how a price of the house can be in decimals, right? It can be real number. It comes under the domain of real number, from minus infinity to positive infinity. So the output is a real number. While it is used in house prices, where we have to predict the price of the house, right? So supervised learning is used to predict the outcomes of the new unseen data, right? So classification. So in classification, what we do here, we don't. Here the output is not a continuous value, but yes or no, or classifying things like this is dog, this is cat. Here the output is not something like 50 53.7. Here the output is like, is this a dog? Yes. Is this a dog? No. Right? Do you have the data that is given? Does this person have cancer? No. Does this person have cancer? Yes. So classification is where the email spam detection, animal detection, output is given. Okay. And then we have unsupervised learning. So as the name suggests, that supervised, that means under supervision of human interaction, human, and unsupervised mean under, not in under supervision of human. So what does that mean is that the data that will be given here will not contain the correct output. It just contains the input data. It just contains the raw data. It doesn't contain the correct output of the data, right? So that means it is not used to predict the outcomes. It is used to discover hidden patterns or clusters in the data. So if you give it a raw data, then after giving it too much data, it identifies, it detects the patterns in the data, and it can find the patterns, hidden patterns, and groupings and clusters in the data. So it is used in customer segmentation, market basket analysis, right? So there are many models that we use, like clustering, association rules, and all these. So it is used to discover hidden patterns in the data. Now the third is semi-supervised. So as you can get it by name, that semi-supervised, that means half of supervision and half of unsupervision. Well, this is used. This is mostly used when the labeled data, that means the data that we give to supervised learning, is very expensive. So we don't have the good amount of data or good amount of labeled data. So what we do is that we combine labeled data with unlabeled data and give it to the semi-supervised learning model. And yes, but the output of this is as same as the supervised data. It also predicts the outcome for the new unseen data. So now the last type of learning, which is reinforcement learning. So this is different from one of these. So here the model learns, in reinforcement learning, the model learns by interacting with the environment. So it is mostly used in robotics, where the robot has to overcome the hurdle by observing its environment. So the machine learns from its environment. So it how it determines that what to choose and what not to choose, how to take decisions. So for this we use reward and penalty policy, that if that robot does something which is right, then it will be counted as reward, and if it does something which is wrong, it will be counted as penalty. So after experience, over experience, robot will learn that how to walk, how to sit, and how to overcome hurdles. So this is reinforcement learning, where the data that is given to the model is from its environment. So example of this is a self-driving car, game AI, self-driven drone, right? The robots, these type of things. So now the last is deep learning. What is deep learning? Well, it is the subset of the machine learning. It is the subset of the machine learning. Well, it is nothing, it is just a tool. This thing is tool that is used in all of these learnings. So what happens in deep learning is that here we use artificial neural networks and multiple layers, so that the raw data, the unlabeled data, so that we can extract the features from the unlabeled data. We find patterns from the unlabeled data. So this is the technique, this is the tool that we use in all of these types of learning. This is how this is different from the unsupervised learning. Well, I got very confused while studying that this and this both works on raw data, so what is the difference between them? So I was very confused, but now I'm clear. So that this is a tool, and this is how. These techniques are how we are going to solve the problem, and this is like this is a tool. As I said, this is a tool that is used to solve a problem. So this was it. Thank you.